morning, good afternoon, or good evening. How y'all doing today? This is Pamela, and you are watching Pam Entertainment TV. Hey, we're getting ready to do a television review. This is a Moonknight, episode 3, entitled The Friendly Type. Listen, I am enjoying this series. I am enjoying the fact that we are learning about each one of these characters every time we step into an episode. There seems to be an introduction to a new character. I'll go on that a little later. Hey, if you like what you're seeing around here, tell your friends, tell your family, tell your coworkers. Shoot, tell them folks you can't stand that I'm over here making these videos, child. Please hit the like button and subscribe. It's free, and it helps me help you to get these videos out, okay? Listen. Also, you can hit that notification bell if you're already subscribed. And y'all, I have reached 40 subscribers. Thank you all so very much. We are trudging along. I appreciate y'all. So let's get into this review. I personally thought this was, out of the 3 episodes, I think I enjoyed this episode the most. Each episode, it seems like we are introduced to a new character. And we are introduced to a new character, sort of, kind of like, but I'll get into this. Listen, this episode opens with Layla, and you know that is Mark Spector's wife, because you know Mark Spector and Stephen Grant, same person, share the same body. Now, I really am not understanding if Mark actually has a split personality, or was Mark dropped into Steven's body, or was Steven dropped into his body, like a possession type situation. I am not sure. I'm just making the speculation that there's just several personalities sharing the same body. 7 personalities. So he has like they call it there's a new word in the DSM-5, but split personality, dissociative personalities. If I think about it, I'll put it down here what the proper term is. But anyway, Layla is in what looks like an office or a lair. I'll put it like that. And she's talking to this woman who's there. And she's lamenting about Mark and everything that's going on with her husband. And we find out that the lady that she's talking to is named Lagaria. And Lagaria was a friend of her father's. But Lagaria is into some making fake passports. She was making a passport for Egypt. Because apparently Layla is from Egypt. Layla is an architect, but she's more of I don't think she's a proper architect, more than she is a thief. Ain't no need for me to try to get these little special words for it, honey. She steals artifacts from the people who have stolen the artifacts, and she sends them to where they're supposed to go, and she makes a little change off of it, okay? That's just all it is. So she gets her passport done. And she talks about her father, and her father's, being deceased, and Lagario's, talking about how she misses her father. And then they were talking about that he was an archaeologist, and it made me think, wait a minute, hold up. Wasn't Mark Spector accused of killing an archaeologist? You think he killed Layla's father, y'all? So then we see Harold and his acolytes. That's what I'm going to call them, child. Harold and his acolytes are out in the desert searching for Amet's tomb. They have the scarab, and, the scarab is floating along trying to find the tomb. It points downward, and then Harold tells the acolytes, we are here, we have found Amet, and we are going to dig. So that's the cause for concern, because they find Amet's tomb, and or her burial place, and they start digging. Child, we then switch to Mark. Mark is running and jumping and off rooftops and stuff like that. It reminded me of the Bourne Identity a little bit. You know how he is chasing after some acolytes because he is trying to hook up with this person who can tell him where in the desert Harold is. Well, child, it was 3 of the acolytes. They beat him to the punch, and they killed the man. So Mark is fighting back and forth with the acolytes. And I'm going to call the fact when Mark and Steven have a conversation via the mirrors and stuff like that, and then their personality changes. I'm gonna call that the flip, because they flip from one personality to another. So he's fighting and he's beating them up, and Steven, you can hear Steven, Mark, don't do that. Stop, please stop. Don't kill him. Stop, please stop. And so the Mark is talking to Steven, and Mark is bested the acolytes, and he has one that he has the knife up to his throat, and I believe Mark was about to split his throat. And then he sees Steven in the mirror, in the shine of the knife, and Steven says, Mark, don't do it. All of a sudden, Mark flips. When he wakes up, he's in a cab. And he's like, where are we going? Where are we going? He was like, the cab driver looked at him funny. He was like, wait a minute. You were speaking Arabic one moment and now you're acting like a tourist. And Marcus says, where are we going? He says, you told me to take you to the airport. So as they're passing around a building, two of the acolytes that were on the roof come out. Mark sees them. He realizes they have some information for him to figure out where Harrow is. So he gets out of the cab, child. The cab driver is running behind him because he wants to get paid. They run all through the streets of Cairo, in and out little alleyways and all kinds of stuff. Mark is chasing the acolytes. He catches up with the acolytes. He's fighting with them. He bests them again. And he is holding one up against the wall, slamming him up against the wall, asking him, where is Harold? Where is Harold? Tell me what I need to know. Tell me what I need to know. Then here comes Steven. Steven, I'm going to need for you just to sit back and hush, because you see that you all are in a precarious situation and you trying to tell people to stop all the time. He does it again. He tells him to stop. Flip happens. And I was thinking Steven was about to flip back out. Well, let me tell you before this. He gets hit on the back of the head first by one of the acolytes. As he falls to the ground, he flips. Next thing you know, they're on this ledge, or near a ledge. Mark has already stabbed the acolyte that he was pushed up against the wall. He's already stabbed him to death. And then the other acolyte, which was like a young boy, he looked about 17 or 18 years old. He's like scooching away and skirting away. And so Mark turns and there's another mirror. You know what? I'm just noticing. I believe this show is going to have a lot of mirrors or a lot of shiny places, because every time you turn around, anyway. So he sees Steven and he asks Steven, what did you do? And Steven is looking at him and says, I didn't do anything. That was all you. You killed that man and you did all this other stuff. And Mark is looking confused. He's looking real confused because he's like, I know I didn't do it. And he doesn't really believe Steven did it, but that's who he's going to accuse. Y'all, is there a third personality? Is that a third personality? Because that's what it seems like to me, that there is a third personality flying through here, child. So that's what I was telling you at the beginning, that we were introduced to a new character, but not really. Because I believe that there's a third personality, because somebody is doing all that killing. But anyway. Marx asked Khonsu about what are we going to do, because the person who we needed to talk to is dead. Well, let me back up. He takes the little boy. The young man, 18, he looks to be like 17, 18, or 19. He takes the little boy to the ledge, because Khonsu tells him to take him to the ledge, and, he'll talk. So Mark takes him to the ledge, and he has the boy dangling on the edge of the ledge like this, how my hand is bent. And the boy is like holding on to the scarf and trying to hold on to Mark. And Mark is telling him, where is Harold? Where is Harold? Child, that boy he's an acolyte supreme, honey. He said, praise Amet. Took a knife out of his pocket and sliced the scarf and fell to his death. And an old petty Khonsu gonna sit up here and say, oh, I thought he would have talked. Khonsu, you petty now. You real petty. You wrong for that. That baby done cut him. Anyway. And is it just me? But Harrow has a lot of acolytes pretty much all over the world, because everywhere he goes, he's been in England or wherever they were the first time we met up with him there, then in London, and now out here in Cairo. He has acolytes pretty much everywhere. Damn. Anyway. So Mark and Kansu are having a little powwow. Mark wants to know what we're going to do now. He's like, don't. He's going to find the tomb. Don't you need to alert the gods and let them know? Child, Kansu, he went to backpedaling and pussy popping and blah blah blah. We can do. I can call the gods, but I'm gonna anger their wrath. Child, we find out that Kansu is not on good terms with the rest of the gods. They done kicked him out wherever the gods are residing. They done kicked Kansu out of that little place because he's done something before that has angered the whole community of gods. So Kansu says that I can alert them, but I'm going to have to feel their wrath. And he said that they had threatened him before if he did something else, they were going to turn him to stone. Child, I hollered. I was like, wait a minute. So Kansu's scared. You know, he's the big bad. He's over here scaring Steven like that, but his butt is actually scared, child. Anyway, let's keep it moving. So what Kansu does, and he does, I believe it's a lunar eclipse when the moon is in front of the sun. He does an eclipse, and baby, what did he do that for? It was like after he did that, pow, 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 all those gods are coming around, and apparently they're going to meet in the Pyramid of Giza, but there is a portal to get to the pyramid. So Mark is standing in front. They're standing in front of this building, and Mark is like, "Well, how am I going to get to the meeting?" And then he shows him where the portal opens up. Mark goes through, and as he's going through it, now is again, here's my issue. Here's my thing. They're going through the portal, and they're going through to get to the Giza. But there's mirrors everywhere because then we suddenly see Steven. And Steven is all giddy. I'm in the Pyramid of Giza. I'm like, really? Are they going to have mirrors everywhere? That just didn't sit well with me. It would have sat better if they would have had like stones and other things. But he's just walking through this corridor and it's just all mirrors. But let me just continue to go on. Let me just talk, and I'm not going to really be going over the scene by scene, but basically what we find out, all the gods come together. Apparently, I'm just talking about Kansu right now. Now, he was banished by the gods for some reason. Apparently, he did something to make the humans know that he was there, or alerted to the humans that they about him and the other gods being there, and they don't want that. They just want to sit back and they want to watch what's going on. They don't really want to interact with humans. So basically, that's why they have a avatar. So when they want to interact or do something, they can do that through the avatar. So, like I said, they banished him for some reason. The other thing that we find out is that Kansu had a little love connection with Hathor, the goddess of music and love. Obviously so. She probably was singing you them sweet, sweet behind lullabies, but I digress. Now, her avatar is called Yatzil. Yaziel, I think it is. Yaziel, that's how it's pronounced. He goes, Mark is there. They have like a trial on Harold because Harold was able to come into the Council of Gods, I guess, to plead his case. And also, too, he was one of Kansu's avatars. So he pleads his case. Kansu accuses him of trying to find a Met's temple. Harold comes in and he smoozes the gods, and they don't believe Kansu because what Harold brings up is the fact that Mark's mind is fractured, and that Kansu found somebody whose mind was fractured to become his avatar, and that the avatar is unstable. So the gods don't believe him. They chastise Kansu. They tell him, you do something else, we're going to turn you in stone for real. And he's trying to explain to him, he's looking and searching for a Met's tomb. He's going to resurrect her, and they don't believe him. So, child. At the end of this whole meeting, Hathor's avatar tells Mark, hey, listen, you need to go find the sarcophagus of Siju or Cebu, and says that the directions to Amet's tomb is enshrined within this sarcophagus. So he was like, okay, I can't remember how Layla comes in, but anyway, he meets up with Layla in the square. She tells him that he tells her about Cebu. She says she knows basically where the sarcophagus is at. It's with a collector named Mogart. They go over to where Mogart is at. While they're going, they have a little heart to heart about basically kind of about the status of their relationship. Um, Layla convinces Mogart to let Mark look at the sarcophagus. He goes in, and once again, honey, we are around so many mirrors. We see Stephen in the mirror. And so Layla says, hey, let Stephen take over so we can find this. Mark was like, no, because if Stephen takes over, he is going to stay in the body and you're not going to be safe. She says, but Stephen is the one that has the information about how we can look and see what we need to look for. Conveniently, there is a mirror above the whole situation, and Stephen is telling them what they need to do. Mark asks Layla to go out and keep Mogart and his bodyguard company while he talks to Stephen. Well, they're looking at Mark and like something's not right. He's in there talking to Stephen. I think it would have just been better had he had let Layla stay there and he act like he was talking to Layla while he was talking with Stephen, and they wouldn't have been so suspicious. But hey, that's not how it worked out. Mogart was suspicious about what was going on. Then Harold shows up. Harold comes in like the darn mafia child. He convinces Mogart. He shows Mogart that he has the power of a Met and that he will be able to help him get more wealth and get more items and stuff like that if he will allow him to basically don't let them do anything with the sarcophagus. And he blows the daggone sarcophagus up with the power. I thought he was gonna call one of them damn puppies. That's what I thought he was about to call, but he didn't. So the sarcophagus blows to smithereens. Mogart is excited because he wants to have that kind of power. And basically, they get to, they get to fighting. But before they start fighting, Harold is talking to Layla, and he hints to the fact that Mark is not who he says he is, and Mark has a past, and he doesn't feel like he's worthy of love. Was Harold hinting to Layla that Mark killed her father? Or was it the third personality that killed her father? Fight ensues, honey, and it was a great little fight. You saw it went from Moonknight to Mr. Knight to Moonknight to Mr. Knight. They were fighting, having a good time. They ended up killing up everybody. Layla had to fight the bodyguard. She bests him. She gets all the cloth because I don't know if I told you in the beginning. They had to get the cloth, the burial cloth, because that's what they had the map on it. They get the burial cloth. They go out into the desert. If they steal a car, they go out into the desert. They go out there and they are trying to assemble the cloth back together. Layla tells Mark, we need Stephen. Stephen takes over the body. Stephen helps Layla assemble the map. They hold the map up to the light. They realize it's the constellations. But apparently when Siju drew the map 2,000 years ago, the constellations were in a different place, and Stephen was basically saying that's the difference between we can be 10 meters off or we could be a mile off. So as they're sitting up there trying to figure out what they needed to do, Kansu says, I remember that night, and I remember all the nights. And so what he did is he had Mr. Knight to assist him to literally rewind the sky back 2,000 years so that they can take a screenshot. That's because they had this little computer of the sky so they'll know where the tomb is. They do that, it happens, but it's at a cost. Because you remember the gods told Kansu, you do something else, we're going to turn your butt into stone. And they were true to their word. Before they turned into stone, Kansu told Stephen, hey, tell Mark to come get my body or to break me out of the stone. Don't know how Mark is going to do it, but that's what he told Mark to do. Stephen to do. So as the gods were assembling together to turn Khonsu to stone, Stephen passes out. So I'm curious, with Khonsu turned to stone, does Moonknight have any powers? Does he still have the powers that he gave him as the Avatar? But I'm assuming that he would, because the other avatars had their powers. But I'm unsure if he's still going to have the powers. Well, the gods call Harrow to the tomb to tell him that they've turned Khonsu into stone, and Khonsu won't be bothering them. And Harrow was kind of gloating over Khonsu's stone figure about, ha ha he he, you're a stone and you're not going to be able to stop me. And thank you for giving me the zest and the zeal for pain, or feeling pain, or inflicting pain. And so that was the end of the episode. Ciao. Like I said, it was a lot of stuff thrown at it. There's possibly a third personality within Mark and Steven, so I don't know who this third personality is, and if this third personality would get a whole another looking suit, don't know. How is Khonsu gonna escape the stone prison? But one of the things I wanted to talk about, what's the status of Layla and Mark's relationship? Is who is this third personality? Will Steven have his powers? I don't know anything. But one of the things that was interesting to me, because I had heard this through the news, they were talking about it on different on different YouTube vlogs and stuff like that, that the god Bast from Black Panther was possibly going to be on this show, or possibly going to be on, I don't know if it was Multiverse of Madness or this show, but there was a black lady, and she talked like the Wakandans that was there. I wonder if I think about it, I'm going to put her picture right here. I wonder, was that Bast, the Pampa God? This. She was cute though. She was all in her cuteness. Hothar's avatar was cute too. She was in her cuteness too. But tell me what y'all thought about this episode. I know I probably was all over the place, but I'm getting excited because of the fact that this is something new, and I want to try to cover everything, but I also want to kind of stir up some dialogue with you all down in the comments. What did you think of this episode? What did you think about Khonsu sacrificing his freedom and to assist Steven and Layla to find Amat's tomb? What are they going to do when they find the tomb? Because if Khonsu is in stone, will Mark / Steven still have the powers of Khonsu? How badass is this Amat when they dig her up? When is this taking place? Is this pre-snap or post-snap? Because, you know, Thanos knocked out half of the population and they rewinded back. So you think it's going to knock out half the population? What is it going to take for the gods to get involved? All of these things are good questions that we need to kind of ask. I am looking forward to the next episode. Again, drop down in the comments what you think of this episode. Please give me a like. And hit that notification bell if you have already subscribed. Once again, thank you all so much for my 40 subscriber. You know, a couple of months I had 19, which was great. And now I have 40, and I am excited. And thank you all so much for watching my videos. I will see you all in the next one. But as always, people, bye-bye.